That was f***ed up. There's no real way to get around this. Episode 12 of Heaven Illusions f***ed up on so many levels, but woof, what do I start with this episode? I almost feel like I just want to kind of wait till the end to talk about everything around Haruki and everything like that, because I don't know if I want to even talk about it. I don't even know if I want to talk about it. The Academy stuff, let's start things off with the Academy stuff, because, yes, God, I feel like I should have waited a little bit before I recorded this. Oh, this is so bad. I just have a feeling today there's going to be an outrage somewhere, and I don't blame people, but at the same time, I'm not against stories like this being told. It's up. It's so up. Andrew, focus. Heavenly Delusion, episode 12. All right. Really fantastic episode, besides how effed up the ending is. Overall, this episode feels like a lot of stuff is building up, though it does have me extremely concerned about the fact that we only have one episode left, because not only with the Academy side, everything's falling apart. Yes, technically, we had just done something extremely terrible to Haruki. On the Academy side, it's the inevitable. This is something that I've been assuming is going to happen eventually. Like I've said before, I'm already on board that Usami was Shiro, the girl with Usami was Mimihime, the one in the basement in the parking garage was the other girl. I forget what her name is by now. I didn't write it down. So yes, it was an eventuality that everybody would have left. And that is what ends up being the big test. I like the build up to it because you had all the kids were saying something dangerous is happening. So it kind of gave you an indication that these other three girls were just like Mimihime in some way. They sensed danger. And so that's the point in which they run off and then something falls on them. They're like, there was something actually dangerous going on. So it indicates the other girls had similar powers to Mimihime, maybe not just the same type, maybe a more closer sensing. I like the emphasis in detail that before you even hear a lot of stuff happening, Mimihime's ear goes up. Like she can sense it. Like animals, they can they're hearing, they can hear things from far away. So if there was an explosion happening far away, she's gonna hear it before everybody else. But yes, it seems as if they're indicating the Academy itself came under attack. One of the ladies that had the director that, and it's rest in peace, she gone. She indicated that she's seen a plane, that they're under attack, that she's seen a plane. And again, what was one of the predictions? That at some point they seen this bird-like person, which was, assuming at this point, probably Asura. I didn't really catch any shot where it showed Asura or that flying being that was shown in the picture. So I don't know necessarily that that's the case. It seemed like this facility was attacked by somebody from the outside. It looks like from the shots from outside, it looks like they were actually being attacked from the outside. But interestingly enough, that nobody came in to infiltrate. It was almost as if it was a long-range attack, which makes me believe that if Mina set this whole thing up, Mina set this test to free the children from the facility, that maybe possibly she hacked outside, hacked some sort of service, hacked some military weapons, and had them fire upon the facility so the kids can get out. But interestingly enough, the director herself is screaming about the fact that they waited for me to get back here before they did it. So the director is implying that it's somebody else. Sawatari claiming that this could possibly be the Spears of Heaven the director was talking about. Is a Spear of Heaven possibly a faction that is still around as the world itself is collapsing? Or again, is it a weapon? And did Mina get access to it? But yeah, they sort of confirmed something I was talking about in the previous episode, that possibly that Tokyo did not have twins. That there was a possibility that the other baby was just a clone of this one child, Tokyo's child. Because they seen that Tokyo's child was like gonna be the perfect one. This is gonna be the one. And so there's a possibility that they cloned it, maybe possibly so the director had two babies to work with if one of them possibly died, or possibly if they can reproduce that perfection. But yeah, eventually Mimihime sees a hole. It seemed to indicate that Mimihime didn't believe that the other's seen it. Like she's seen something and she was assuming that it was going to be another vision. Like everything else, when she's seen Asura, it was a vision, and so nobody else could see it. She's seen this hole and assumed nobody else seen it. So when they all say, oh, you've seen that hole, and she's like, okay, so you've seen it too, let's go see. And yes, that leads them to the outside. And I like the reaction that they have. It's like, obviously it's the, oh my gosh, look at this. But Mimihime specifically says the ceiling is so high, I felt like I was falling into it. And I could totally see that. If you've lived your entire life never seeing outside, like seeing the actual sky, what kind of sensation that would give you. It's kind of like those reports of like children and stuff that have been kept inside their home their entire life. And then at some point when they're like teenagers or 20 years old, they finally break out of their home that they've been captured in. And it's just like, you wonder, oh my gosh, what kind of thought process goes through your head when you finally get to the outside? But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where that goes. I'm curious if the 13th episode is going to leave on the academy having the students just walk out to possibly ruins. I hope that we get at least some sort of closure there before the 13th episode ends, because again, that's the last episode, and I haven't heard of a sequel, but we'll see. Even though I kind of want Mimi Hime to stay there now because I know what happens to her later. We'll see. But no, let's address the elephant in the room, which is Haruki's side. Kiriko and Maru end up going to Ibaraki. They find this one town. It's got its own currencies. Everything's going well there. End up finding out they pretty much fix this facility that is genetically altering plants so that they can survive harsh environments. Really cool city. Everything seems to be rebuilding there. And they kind of took upon themselves the name of the rebuilders or whatever. I forget what the name was. But yes, they set up an appointment to go meet Robin. They find out Robin's there. I have to go back and watch my old episode impressions. I really don't remember if I had a good or a bad impression of Robin. I think there was a side of me that almost believed it was misdirection, because they were putting a lot of emphasis back then on Sakoto being a bad guy, and that Robin was going to go look into him, and then the orphanage gets destroyed and all that kind of stuff. It sort of gave me an indication that, yes, it could have been Sakoto taking the children, and then Robin went after him, but it could have also been that Robin did something. And now it's pretty much convinced at this point. Robin, not a good dude. Now, I think it's one of those cases where I think in public view, he is doing good things. He's building this town and everything like that. But that doesn't take away from who he is deep inside, which is a disgusting human being. I don't remember if it ever indicated that Robin was possibly, even back then, forcing himself upon Kiriko. There could be a possibility that even back then he could have been in a relationship with Kiriko. But I don't think that was the case. I knew that Haruki really liked Robin. And it never gave the indication that I remember that Kiriko was telling Haruki not to go near him. So that doesn't make me believe that there's any sort of ill will back there. But obviously, based on now, it seems as if he wants to force himself upon her. Like he desires her. And I think he's using the fact that Haruki's brain is in there, which I do believe that he understands that is the case. He's going to take advantage of that. I will have Kiriko for myself now because Haruki looks up to me so much. And it's extremely unsettling. And I really do believe that that whole encounter kind of starts off on a bad foot. Yes, gets a meeting to see him, walks up to there, and the moment that they see each other, really cool effect they did here is that Kiriko walks under some shade. And the shade covers up his hair. And it makes his hair look black again. That was the color of her hair before he was transplanted into her. The hair changed at some point after that. But I think through the conversations themselves, I think he establishes, yes, this is Haruki. He even says it. Your mannerisms, your facial tics and all that kind of stuff. Everything is Haruki. But I'm looking at Kiriko. A couple things get revealed in the conversation about the plant itself, what they're kind of doing there. Sakoto and how, yes, technically this is something that he could pull off. How he left to go after the doctor, and when he got back, the orphanage was gone, which I don't believe that. I'm coming down to the point where he decides to wrap up the conversation and say, don't worry, we'll talk later. We have lots of time. Let's just wrap things up. I think at that point, he wanted to go after her. And this is where I get conflicted because I'm kind of wondering, I understand that from Kiriko's perspective, this is going to be a significant character change. This is horrible. There's no glossing over it. This is literally one of the worst things that can happen to somebody. Especially under the mindset of what Kiriko is, Haruki. From Robin's perspective, again, I think it's probably going to be as simple as Robin is a disgusting human being and desires Kiriko's body. And so he's using the fact that it's Haruki in there to take advantage of Haruki and take Kiroko's body. It's disgusting. He says at some point this is an experiment. And he's trying to drive into Haruki's mind that right now I'm with Kiroko. Like, he even knows it. I'm with this boy that I took care of, but I don't want to see him right now. He's trying to tell Haruki to be Kiroko. Don't look at me right now saying that you're Haruki. It's ruining it for him. Like, he literally sees Haruki, but he's still doing it because he desires Kiroko. It's a really screwed up situation here, and it's technically affecting even Robin himself. But I don't think there's any deeper meaning in Robin's perspective. I don't think he's doing some sort of lab experiment. I don't think he's trying to fix Haruki to make him realize he's Kiroko or something like that. It could be possibly going down that route, but no, he's just literally a scumbag. So putting Robin aside, established, that's his story. He's a dirtbag. I'm sure at some point we may find out that he actually really liked Kiroko. I'll be curious to find out if maybe he had a relationship with Kiroko. He looked emotional when he first seen Kiroko. So there's a possibility that he did love her, thought that he lost her, and now he sees her come back in and it's Haruki. But I don't care. It doesn't change a fact. It still doesn't change the fact this guy is a disgusting human being, and I hope that in the next episode he gets laser shot. And we'll just move on from there. It just sucks that this is what destroys the mentality of Haruki, which is obviously the bigger upset in this whole scene. The thing that I kind of remembered at the end of the episode that kind of made this hurt more is that Haruki is obviously excited. I'm gonna go see Robin. I finally found Robin. Robin is this guy he's been looking up to this whole time. And it looks like he gets excited the moment that he finds out that Robin's there. And he runs to go see Robin. I finally found Robin. Sees Robin, gets all emotional, is safe now. There's the kicker. When he goes in to take a bath, I was scared, but now Robin's here. I don't have to be afraid anymore. I found Robin. He'll take care of me. He'll take care of everything. He built this whole thing. He's amazing. I'm finally safe. There's like two effects here. One is that you have kind of that relapse back into old Haruki, the child. Even though he's built up so much courage, fought so many man-eaters, and gotten stronger mentally and physically, this is the point where he reverts back to old Haruki, a child looking for protection from Robin. This is my parental figure. This is my dad. And now I'm safe. I'm with Robin. He's going to take care of everything. He's reverted back to being a child looking to his father figure, his father. That's what makes it so screwed up. Like, there's so many levels of screwed up here. He goes in there and Robin claims his experiment. You're looking at your sister right now. What am I going to do to your sister? He's telling Haruki to stop talking. Stop breaking this image that I have that I am with Kiroko. And this is where it's going to really screw up in the mind of Kiroko. I don't know where the writer's planning on going with this, but it can go in so many directions. It's almost as if this could be that aspect of forcing Hiroko to become Kiroko. Give up the fact that you are a boy inside this body through trauma. I'm curious if that's the direction it's going to go. At some point, Maru's going to show up and realize, okay, suddenly you look different. You're acting different. Because Haruki inside there has sort of shut himself away and he's going to become Kiroko. Or possibly the idea of just Haruki himself becoming so distraught because he couldn't protect his sister's body. Haruki isn't innocent here, by the way. Haruki has done the same thing to his sister's body, so it's not as if he hasn't had the same urges as Robin, but this is a completely different level of assault, obviously. Because, yes, technically, Kiroko's dead, and Haruki is Kiroko now. And this is a third party coming in and doing something horrible. But I'll be interested to see where it goes from here. Obviously, I'm assuming that Maru will show up. Maybe he'll sense something, or maybe Kiroko will come back to Maru looking extremely broken. I don't know that Robin's going to let Kiroko go. He's probably going to keep her locked up inside of his room. And then possibly Maru, realizing that she hasn't come back, is going to think that she abandoned him. But she promised that she'd be back. So he's probably going to go in there, find her, and hopefully, again, laser shoot Robin. Just laser shoot Robin. Let's just get rid of Robin. One episode left. We have only one episode left of the series, and where are we going to leave it? Again, Haruki is mentally broken. The kids are escaping the academy in the past. Where are we going to wrap up here? Like, how is this story going to wrap up in one episode? I have no idea. Obviously, we're not going to find heaven in this season. I don't even know if we'll get to the point where the academy discovers that it is in the past. I'll be very interested to see how things wrap up, but what an episode. Woof. I hope you guys enjoyed my impressions. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button to get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top lists. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, and membership button down below. Greatly appreciate everybody who supports the channel, and y'all take care.